Hello and welcome to the European Championships. It's day one and it's the first of our two shotgun skeet finals. We're outside in the resplendent sunshine at the Olympic venue. It's 1 year since the Olympic Games and now we're about to get underway with the skeet women junior final. Let's go down to the field of play and join our announcer, Philipp Bernard of Germany.
So ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome here in the Skeet Arena for the first final outside in Châteauroux 2025 European Championships. We are ready for the call-in of the athletes, so audience, get ready with your hands when I call out our athletes and officials. Here they are. Big applause for them. Come on, everybody. Six young ladies, which made a great qualification. I have the honor to be here in the final. And on position with a bib number 1 and a qualification score for 119 targets is the Junior World Cup participant of 25 at Zürich from the independent neutral athlete nation. Big applause for Usumova.
So first athlete to be introduced is Anastasia Usumova.
Number 2, 119, also her qualification score. She represents Great Britain, was at Lima Junior World Champion. And in the Junior World Cup 24 at Porpetto, also gold for Madeleine Russell.
Madeleine Russell of Great Britain next to be introduced. 21 years old.
Number 3, 118, the qualification score of this Italian athlete who was first at the European Championships 24 at Lonato and world champion at Lima 2024, Eleonora Ruta.
And big cheers for the Italian 20-year-old Eleonora Ruta.
With a bib number 4, 117, the qualification score represents Great Britain. European Championships 23 at Osijek, bronze medal. And in the Junior World Cup 25 at Zürich, gold for Phoebe Bobley Scott.
And Phoebe Bobley Scott, the second of 3 Great British athletes in this final.
117 targets. She represents also the independent neutral athlete nation. At the Junior World Cup in 25 at Zürich, she participated, and now she is in the final. Varvara Zaitseva.
So Varvara Zaitseva is next to be introduced, 19 years old.
With a bib number 6 and the qualification score of 116 targets. The Junior World Cup gold medalist from 22, and she got gold 22 at Osijek World Championships. Sophie Herrmann.
And Sophie Herrmann of Great Britain, the third British athlete to be introduced to the crowd here in Châteauroux.
The most important persons, the officials. The jury member in charge for that final will be Emir Emirzadeh, Cyprus.
Emir Emirzadeh of Cyprus is our jury in charge.
And the man with the control, the woman with the control, Joan Spartacus, France.
And Joan Spartacus of France is our referee in charge of this final.
Send them at the line with your biggest applause you have. Come on for everybody! Yeah!
So welcome along if you are joining us on YouTube or Facebook. My name is Rory McAllister. Alongside me is Bethany Norton of Great Britain. We'll be your commentary team for this Skeet Women Junior final. If you're joining in on YouTube, then do like and subscribe to the channel. You can also join in on the live chat as well. So that's how it finished in qualification. 119, the top 2 scores. It was settled in a shoot-off, which then decided the bib numbers 1 through to 6. And it's those bib numbers that can really come into play in a final such as this, because if there is a tie at any point before we get to deciding the gold and silver medals, so even up to the bronze medal, if there is a tie and the scores are the same, then the position and the bronze will be decided on the bib number position. 28 degrees Celsius is the temperature, with wind gusts of around 13 meters per second. Although, to be honest, up here in our commentary position, Bethany, it certainly feels an awful lot more windier than that.
Definitely, it's sure to be a very exciting final with this wind making the targets really speed past us.
So Usmanova was first to go at station 3 with the 4 targets. First of which come from the high, then low house.
You might notice on this pair that Maddie has put a different shotgun shell in her top barrel. This is a size 7 shot, which is stronger and will travel that bit farther to punch the reverse.
And Maddie Russell, just a recovery after that first miss, following up with the following 3 hits. And is now the athlete in front with still the other 4 still to shoot at station 3.
That's a very nice pair from Eleonora, especially since the second target was getting pushed quite far down in the wind there.
So perfect start for the Italian. Ruta with 4 out of 4. We see the referee, Joanna Spartacus of France, hand in the air. You hear the beep in the background to signal the miss.
And a lovely pair from Phoebe to put her on a 3 out of 4 on the first station.
So you see Zaitseva just looking down at her waist and getting ready for what's known as the mount, which is where the shotgun's positioned before you take your shot in Skeet. Make your call. The shot clock over to the side, which you can't see on your screen, starts at 30 seconds. It's now down to 10, for example. So Zaitseva is going to have to get a move on here. And just manages to get in there with 2 seconds to go and takes both of those targets, turned into dust in the sky. And in a final such as this, we use what's known as flash targets, which means it makes that luminous dust in the sky, making it easier not only for the spectators and for you at home to see, but also for the actual referees as well to make their call.
That's one of the differences that we have in Skeet between qualification and our finals. So in qualification, we just shoot the standard targets, but in the finals, you get those flash targets. Well, that one wasn't a flash target, to make it much easier for the refs to see the targets.
Yes, I'm sure that'll be noted afterwards. And make sure that the high and low house are loaded correctly. So now we move on to station number 4. That's the one in the middle. And each athlete now just has 2 targets at this station.
That was an unfortunate miss, considering the wind really made that pair very difficult for her. One of the main differences between Station 4 in a final and a round is in our qualification round we shoot a pair each side, so a high pair and a low pair, whereas in a final we alternate on high and low.
So Maddie Russell making short work of those 2. 2 targets, 2 hits. Oh, and that's a double miss for Ruta, the Italian, who had a perfect start with those 4 out of 4 at station 3. But as Beth's been saying, the wind is really providing that extra challenge to these athletes in this final.
And that was a lovely pair from Phoebe, especially as Skeet shooters. We sometimes find difficult to follow shooters that miss targets, but Phoebe made light work of that.
big cheers for Zaitseva, 19 years old. She was 18th when she competed in Seoul earlier this year at the Junior World Cup. So has made this final in bib number 5. And now here goes Sophie Herman of Great Britain.
And a lovely pair from Sophie. She's become well accustomed to these finals, shooting 2 mixed team finals with Mitchell Brooker-Smith and winning gold in both back in 2022. And now we're going on to station 5. In a normal round, we'd shoot a single and a pair, but in the final, we'll shoot 2 pairs, 1 standard and 1 reverse.
Well, a fairly decent visit to station number 5 for Usmanova, 3 out of 4. So Maddie Russell on station 5, the current world champion. And that's a decent visit for the Briton, 4 out of 4, up to now a total of 9 hits, just with that 1 miss. Oh, that target just racing off and high, and then caught some of the wind and moved off quite low. Was racing away to the right.
I think it's important to remember these athletes have had a very busy 2 days. They've shot 125 targets, and 5 out of the 6 athletes in this final have also had to shoot a shoot-off for bib number. So these misses aren't just misses, they're from exhaustion, they're from the mental pressure of the final. They're not just simple mistakes. And Phoebe will have to repeat that pair then. And a strong finish from Phoebe to also finish on a 9 out of 10. Currently in line with Maddie Russell.
Yes, and that second target just clipped the right-hand side of it enough to put some dust in the sky and signal to the ref and the rest of us that she'd made the hit. So Zaitseva here with a chance to make it a perfect start. She's on 8 so far, now face these 2.
And a superb 10 out of 10. With this win like this, it's very difficult targets, and she's made an excellent start in this final.
Well, Sophie Herman with a miss, a double miss actually, and big oohs ringing around the crowd that have gathered here in Châteauroux. And there were big oohs as well a year ago when Amber Rutter was in the senior women's final, and there was that controversy over that bird. Did it clip? Did it miss? What happened? Well, it was a silver medal in the end. So back to this final, and after those first 10 targets, we're just looking down at the scoreboard, and Usmanova with six hits, also tied alongside Elinara Ruta and Sophie Herman, all on 6 out of 10. Phoebe Bodley-Scott on a total of 9.
We'll see another 10 targets before our first elimination in this final. and a superb pair. Great timing. If you see on the recording, the targets broke very closely together, which is what we want in a final. I think we're seeing a bit of commotion here because when the athlete in peg 1 stepped off the stand, the round of applause set off the microphone to release a pair. So now Maddie's having to reset and the scoreboard's having to be reset so that the second pair fires.
Well, after that hesitation and break, Maddie Russell took those last two. He's now on a total of 13. I'll just get our graphic updated. I know that's stuck on 11 at the moment, but Maddie Russell of Great Britain's total is 13 hits.
And a very nasty pair there for Eleonora. It's not the start that she wants in the final.
Yeah, it was pretty tricky on that, particularly that last shot, really having to dip with the knees and the hips in order to try and reach that target. As we've been saying earlier on, the wind is really playing its part. But of course, those conditions are the same for all the athletes.
And a great pair from Phoebe, who currently holds the British junior record for the finals on a 57 out of 60.
That's great, really, just because of that second shot, really just managed to clip that and worked hard to get at it as well in these conditions. And that's why it was a great shot.
And Zaitseva still going very strong, currently on a 14 out of 14 hits.
Yeah, hence the reaction from the crowd. And Sophie Herman with a miss on that last shot. And as Beth was saying earlier on, it's been a grueling couple of days for these ski athletes, and still 28 degrees out in the sun. I mean, we're quite fortunate in the sense that we're covered, but the athletes down there on the field of play, and also there's the weight of the shotguns as well. Just holding those out in front of you as well is certainly pretty tiring.
I think people might not also recognize that the blue on the range that you might see in the footage, the sun reflects off that blue and shines back into your eyes, making it very hard to see the clays, and it also provides quite a big distraction, especially when you're trying to focus on shooting and aiming.
A decent couple of hits from Maddie Russell just there, following on from Usmanova, who also made 2 hits out of 2 at station 4.
And a lovely pair from Eleonora, starting to pick up the pace now. It's good to see she didn't let that station 3 get to her head, and she's managed to recover and come back strong on that pair on station 4. And a lovely pair from Phoebe, especially with the wind, making those targets very difficult. She managed to stack those clays right over the center, which is awesome.
Well, that was really decent, really solid, really in command of those two. Zaitseva still on the perfect start, 16 hits out of 16. First one was a miss, second was a hit for Sophie Hermann to complete that round, and now we'll go to the first and final visit for some of the athletes to station number 5, because one of the athletes will be leaving this final in 6th place. And then we'll go round again. And after each 10 targets, there'll be more eliminations until we get down to the bronze medal. And then finally to decide gold and silver. And the only way this final can go to a shoot-off is if it gets to the gold and silver medal stage and the scores are tied.
Up until that point, if the scores are tied, the person with the lowest bib number will be eliminated from the final.
Well, it's just that second target, just from the low house as well, just raced up and high, again caught the wind off to the left, and it was just too much for Usmanova to get on top of it. Maddie Russell, meanwhile, the first of these 4, starts with 2 hits.
And a strong start for Maddie on a 19 out of 20. Puts her in a really good position going into the next few rounds of the final.
Well, once again, Joanna Spartacus' hand up in the air. There's been plenty of misses in this final. I mean, it's no reflection of the ability of the 6 athletes that we've got, not by any means, but just conditions here, just trickier than they wouldn't be without these big wind gusts that we've got here in Châteauroux.
I think it's important to acknowledge the standard of these women in shooting over the last few years. I know in my first European Championships, the qualifying score for the final was a 105 or 106, and 3 years later, it's 116 to make a shoot-off for the final. And a super strong finish there for Phoebe. Also on a 19 out of 20. Seems like the Brits have a liking for the 19 out of 20s today.
So Zaitseva here has a chance to make it a perfect start with 20 out of 20. And the shot clock was just down to 1 second. She only really just got in there in time. You've really got to keep an eye on what's going on to the right-hand side of Station 5 where that shot clock is. But just about got away with that. And Zaitseva, 20 targets, 20 hits.
And a good start to Station 5 for Sophie. She's going to have to hit both of these next 2 targets to stay in this final.
And just misses that 4th one. So it's a total of 13 for Sophie Hermann, and this is where the bib number system comes into play, because there is a tie with 2 athletes on a total of 13. We have Ruta of Italy on 13 hits. Sophie Hermann, meanwhile, in bib number 6. You can just see that on the back of her vest. Now has to leave this final. And it's congratulated by the Great British coaches. Christian Schofield, Nikki Wakefield sitting down there, also Richard Brickell. So perfect start for Zaitseva. 20 out of 20. Maddie Russell and Phoebe Bodley-Scott both on 19, separated by the bib number system.
Now, 2 times 19, Russell and Bodley-Scott. Behind her only 1 target. And then 14 and 30. 13 for Ruta and Usmanova 40. So, Ruta must fight. Even then, have them with your applause. Send them in the next round for the first. Come on!
So we have our 5 athletes advancing to the next 10 targets, after which there'll be another elimination. You might notice the athletes closing their gun around the center peg. This is where the targets are set up to cross the skeet field. So it's a good acknowledgement of where the targets are going to cross, and the athletes can prepare in their head where they're going to aim for each target.
Well, decent final 2 there from Usmanova. Just 3 misses so far, 17 out of 20. And 2 out of 2 so far for the world champion, and now another 2 on her 3rd visit at station 3. Oh, and a miss on the 4th. Referee's arms in the air. Maddie Russell now on 22. Ruta of Italy, who just survived that last elimination round based on the bib number. She's in bib number 3.
Another perfect stand for Eleonora. She's managed to regain her confidence after nearly being knocked out on bib number. Yeah, great recovery for Eleonora there. And an unlucky miss there for Phoebe on the first shot of the second pair on station 3.
So Bodley-Scott joins Russell on 22. Zaitseva now with her first miss of this final so far. I have to say, really, 19 years old, it's been a that visit, 3rd visit to station 3 with 2 final hits, and now back to station 4.
And hopefully the referee has acknowledged that when the crowd was clapping, that he released the targets on station 4. That's how loud the applause was there. Yes, thankfully she has, and she's going to reset the scoreboard and we'll be good to go. And some really strong pairs there for both Eleonora Ruta and Maddie Russell, especially since the wind has started to pick up again.
So a decent couple of shots from Phoebe Bodley-Scott. I'll just say we're working in the background to bring you back the scores on screen. Just to update you though, looking at the scoreboard, Usmanova on 18 hits. Maddie Russell is in the lead at the moment as it stands, with others still to shoot. Maddie Russell's on 24. Ruta of Italy on a total of 19. Phoebe Bodley-Scott on 24. And Zaitseva also on 24. Three athletes now tied for the lead. Russell, Bodley-Scott and Zaitseva all on a total of 24 targets, 24 hits as we go back to Station 5.
Station 5 is going to be a very interesting stand, especially with Usmanova and Ruta very close on an 18 and 19 respectively. But obviously, Eleonora has the lower bib number, so she's going to really need to shoot well on this stand.
Well, once again, big cheers from the crowd for both of the two independent and individual neutral athletes. Well, that's a miss for the world champion, Maddie Russell. See Maddie as well there, just checking her footing again. Balance is so important.
That was a very nasty pair. That low bird was dropping very low, so unfortunately Maddie couldn't quite get down onto that target. Very strong pair there. That was very difficult with the wind.
And big cheers from the Italians as well for Eleonora Ruta, who currently at the moment, just to update you on the score, is on a total of 23. And we're just working hard in the background to try and bring you back the on-screen graphics. I'll just wait for Bodley-Scott to take these two, and then I'll run through the totals for you just before Zaitseva takes her 4 targets at Station 5. And Bodley-Scott nails those two. So here's how it stands. Usmanova on 22 hits, Maddie Russell on 26. She's in second place. Ruta of Italy on 23. Bodley-Scott of Great Britain in the lead as it stands on 28. And Zaitseva now has a chance to level with Bodley-Scott on 24 to go up to 28 if she can hit all 4. But we will have our next elimination. And Usmanova will be leaving wearing bib number 1. Well, that was pretty decent stuff as a card here.
The next decision, the 5th place goes to number 1, Anastasia Usmanova. Big applause.
So is Zaitseva being issued a yellow card here? Just been told to wait.
Sorry that the speaker was so far.
And the shooter's being called back to Station 5. It's been a couple of times in this final that Zaitseva's been very close to the time. It seems like she's just gone over the time limit of 30 seconds there on Station 5.
Yeah, she's been really close on a couple of shots. It went to 2 seconds, and then on that last round visit as well, went down to 1.
It seems as though she's going to be asked to repeat that reverse pair on 5.
Yes, like Sever, the scoreboard here shows that she's on 26. So as Beth just said, she'll get another 2 targets here. And if you have just joined us, welcome along. It's the first of the 2 Skeet Junior finals here on day 1 of the European Championships. And we're just working as hard as we can to bring the scores to you on your screen. Well, this time hits 1, misses 1, but stays on a total of 28, so is tied for the lead with Phoebe Bodley-Scott. They're both on 28 targets. And now we have the official departure of Anastasia Usmanova, 20 years old, was 25th in Seoul at the Junior World Cup, so is really impressed to come into this final and get into the top 6, and leaves in 5th place wearing bib number 1.
Our top 2 shooters in this final, also during qualification on a 119 out of 125, which is equaling the current European record set by Damiana Paolacci back in Seoul. And I think it was 2023. So great shooting from both of those 2 athletes. And as we have had a departure of someone higher up in the bib order, the shooting order for this next 10 targets has changed. So Maddie Russell will now shoot in position 1. And another really strong station there for Maddie.
Yes, Maddie Russell with 4 out of 4, takes her total to 30. We can see it on the scoreboard from where we are. Appreciate if you're watching at home or wherever you're watching from around the world, you can't see the scores at the moment. So we'll do our best just to keep you updated with what's happening. So Ruta now on 25. This is to make it 27.
And an amazing pair there. That high house is really getting pushed down by the wind. This takes Eleonora to 27 hits. That low target just being caught in the wind there means Phoebe is going on to the next 2 pairs on a 29. And another unlucky miss, just the target's being caught by the wind, puts her on a 30. So she's currently in joint first with Maddie Russell.
Yes, Bodley-Scott, 2 hits, 2 misses. A hit and a miss and a hit and a miss in that order. And Zaitseva now on a total of 30 and has a chance to go into the clear lead. Trying to notch this up now to 32 with these next 2 targets. Oh, and manages to get them as well. Really decent shooting, particularly on that second shot as well with the bird from the high house. So Zaitseva goes into the lead, 32 hits, which means that the 2 Britons are tied for second, both on 30 hits. That's Maddie Russell and also Phoebe Bodley-Scott. And then we have Eleonora Ruta of Italy on a total of 27.
And that was a double miss for Maddie Russell. I'm not sure what happened then. It seemed as though the low house was being pushed down in the wind.
Yeah, and sometimes when it's your chance to go, it can just be when the gust comes at the wrong time. I know the Italian coach, just off screen, we can see from up here as his hand in the air. But Ruta has hit one and missed one there on station 4.
And a great pair there from Phoebe. You can hear her dad, Richard, cheering for her in the stands.
Yeah, she was pretty casual there. Bodley-Scott took it with real aplomb, really. Made it look so easy, but
very nonchalant.
the conditions here are pretty tricky. Well, another impressive brace from Zaitseva, 34 hits now and leads the competition. So we're still working in the background to try and bring the graphics back to you, the on-screen scores, but here's how it stands. Maddie Russell on a total of 30 hits, Ruta of Italy on a total of 28, Bodley Scott on 32, and Zaitseva on 34.
And another good station there for Maddie, putting her on a 34 out of 40.
Well, that pretty much signals the end of Ruta's final, because she can only now get to 31. So whatever happens, she's going to leave this final without a medal. And has had a pretty tricky time of it, to be fair, and has coped pretty well in certain stages of this final. But for Eleonora Ruta, 20 years old from Italy, gold medalist at the World Championships in the mixed team as a junior, will be leaving this final in 4th place.
It's really unfortunate for Eleonora, considering she finished 4th place at the Europeans last year at Lenato as well. So she'll be very frustrated about that.
So Phoebe Bodley Scott that time with a hit and a miss. Bodley Scott now up to a total of 35. Ruta of Italy on 30. And Maddie Russell on 34. With Zaitseva now to shoot, who's currently on a total of 34 with these 4 to go. So she's now on 36, 2 more. Try and take her to 38. And does so. Massive cheer and appreciation from the crowd watching this final. But we have our next elimination. And in 4th place, representing Italy, it's the 20-year-old Eleonora Ruta, who at times shot really well and got off to a pretty decent start, but just wasn't meant to be today in terms of a medal. But the Italian has come here to Châteauroux and now leaves in 4th place. Nice to see the fist pumps as well of congratulations from the 2 Britons. Meanwhile, Zaitseva has been off just to fetch a bit more ammo and put that into her front pouches. So Maddie Russell, the world champion, has the honours back at station 3. Over these next 10 targets, this is to decide the bronze medal. And we're working hard to try and bring the on-screen graphics and scores to you. But here's how it stands. Maddie Russell of Great Britain on 34 hits. Bodley Scott of Great Britain on 35. And Zaitseva on 38. Sorry, I didn't understand that. Sorry, no scores at all, or no highlights. Okay, and we're going to have no. We're going to do the highlight score. Okay, all right, great.
And a perfect 4 out of 4 there for Maddie. Currently on a 38. That was an unfortunate 2 misses for Phoebe. Puts her on a 37. This is 1 target behind Maddie Russell.
So Zaitseva's claiming that she hit that. Referee, meanwhile, hand in the air is saying no. Just checking with the side refs. And a shake of the head.
So that target was declared as a miss. Put Zaitseva on a 41. So the current standings are Maddie Russell on a 38, Phoebe on a 37, and Zaitseva on a 41. And great pairs on 4 for both Russell and Bodley Scott there.
So Zaitseva takes those 2, is now on a total of 43 and in the lead. Maddie Russell, the world champion, is on a total of 40 hits in 2nd place. And Phoebe Bodley Scott of Great Britain is on 39, currently in the bronze medal position. And the bronze can still be decided if there is a tie on the bib number system. So Maddie Russell in bib number 2, now shooting back at station 5. She's on the current total of 40. That's 42. Well, that's all Maddie Russell can do for the moment, up to a total of 44. Bodley Scott on 39, with a chance to get to 43. Well, there's just 1 target there, really, so I'll have to go again. And Phoebe Bodley Scott takes those 2, now on a total of 41. Well, this is interesting because Maddie Russell's on 44, so Bodley Scott needs these 2 in order to try and notch up to 42. So that's a bronze medal for Great Britain. And Zaitseva now on a total of 43. She's 1 behind Maddie Russell. Zaitseva now on 45. And this is a chance now to go 3 hits in front.
You can see Zaitseva looking over her right shoulder there at the stop clock to make sure she's still on time.
Well, with every hit now, I think the crowds are going to react the way they just have for Zaitseva. But we have our first medal of this final, and it's gone to Great Britain on day 1 of the European Championships. Amazingly, Phoebe Bodley Scott has already taken a seat. You'd have thought she'd at least maybe taken a wave to the crowd, but ever nonchalant, as Beth described her earlier on. Phoebe Bodley Scott takes Great Britain's first medal of this European Championships, and it's a bronze in the Skeet Women Junior. Bodley Scott, still only 19 years old, took a bronze medal at the European Championships in Osijek 2 years ago in 2023. There's a gold medal at the Junior World Cup in the individual and in the team junior competition. That was both in 2025 this year and 2022. So it's another medal for the Britain, and it's bronze.
The bronze medal will be a nice early birthday treat for Phoebe, who turns 20 early next week.
Yes, happy birthday in advance for Phoebe Bodley Scott. So back to the final. Bib number system is now wiped clean. If we have a tie, it'll go to a shoot-off. And I think we can all remember what happened when we had a shoot-off with a Briton in the final 1 year ago in the Skeet Women's Olympic final. So Maddie Russell now up to a total of 48 hits. So Zaitseva was on a total of 47 as she started there. So 1 miss, 1 hit, up to now a total of 48. Well, perhaps just a little bit of pressure getting to Zaitseva. She missed that first one coming from the low house. So she's just 1 in front of Maddie Russell. So Great Britain guaranteed 2 medals from this final. It now just depends what colour the second will be. Will it be silver or gold for Maddie Russell? Will Zaitseva continue this amazing streak of shooting in these conditions to take gold? A decent couple of shots there. Her work is done for the moment. Maddie Russell up to a total of 50.
This is definitely where the pressure is going to start to hit going into the final station. Zaitseva's got this pair to shoot. She knows she's 1 ahead. Let's see what she can do on station 4.
Well, got the first, missed the second, so that's levelled it. And now we go down to station number 5. Will there be a shoot-off? Is there going to be a clear winner? The crowd know exactly what's at stake here and what's now about to happen. Once again, our apologies for not having graphics on screen with the scores. We've been unable to resolve that for you, so we'll have to complete this final without the scores on screen. But just to say, Maddie Russell back at station 5 is now on a total of 52. And with 2 to go, and Zaitseva with her 4. Well, a real decent finish and decent end. That's all Maddie Russell, the world champion, can do for now. It's been set 4 out of 4. Zaitseva needs all 4 of these now to take this final to a shoot-off.
She certainly put the pressure on Zaitseva there.
Well, that's 2. 2 more to go to level this and take it to a shoot-off. That's 1. Oh, misses the second. And for Ivana, Zaitseva just has to accept that that last one was a miss. Referee's hand went up into the air, and Zaitseva, well, just led for so long, and such a dominant performance right to the bitter end in this Skeet final. And Maddie Russell, the world champion, has come through for Great Britain. It's a gold medal, not only for Maddie Russell, but also for Phoebe Bodley-Scott, a bronze. 3 athletes from Great Britain in this final, 2 medals, not a bad result. And Maddie Russell is over to be congratulated by her father. Such wonderful scenes. Meanwhile, for Ivana Zaitseva, a silver medalist in this Skeet Women Junior final. And now the athletes just being asked to line up in the right order. And the 2 Britons next to each other. Zaitseva on the left of your picture, the silver medalist, who's an individual neutral athlete. So here's the official announcements.
Phoebe Bodley-Scott.
So Phoebe Bodley-Scott adds another bronze medal to that bronze European Championship medal in Oshek from 2 years ago.
Silver goes for the independent neutral athletes to Ivana Zaitseva.
And Ivana Zaitseva, 19 years old, she'll be back, I'm sure. A dominant performance right to the end. It's a silver medal.
European champion representing Great Britain, Phoebe Bodley-Scott.
Well, the world champion, Maddie Russell, who I think's just been announced as Phoebe Bodley-Scott, who's already taken the bronze medal.
That was a really bad thing from the speaker. That's when we have no lists.
So just waiting now to get the official announcement for Maddie Russell.
But when you work live with cards, sometimes. Now again, for the new European champion, the gold medal goes, representing Great Britain, to Madeline Zarina Russell.
So Madeline Russell adds the European title to her world title. What a year it's been for this 21-year-old shooter. He'll soon move up to the senior ranks. And that adds to the many medals she's taken over the years. What a day for Maddie Russell. What a day for Great Britain. It's day one, and Great Britain already firmly stamped themselves on the medals table with 2 medals, a gold and a bronze. Meanwhile, France earlier on in the 3 positions. I won't ruin the results for you, but you can watch those back on our YouTube and Facebook channels. It's been a decent day for France as well. So we've still got one more final to come for you. That's the Skeet Men's Junior. That's coming up local time in 25 minutes at 7:15. Live for you here on the ESC video stream, both live on Facebook and on YouTube. So just taking a look back at the highlights now of this final. Well, what a final that was. A decent day for Great Britain. A bronze for Phoebe Bodley-Scott and a silver medal for Vivana Zaitseva. And then the world champion today, Maddie Russell, has become the European champion. We're back in a few minutes. Do join us again for the Skeet Men Junior final on day one of the 2025 European Shooting Championships.